All right. You guys ready? Yes or no? Are we ready? We're ready? Okay. I just fucking inception you guys. Okay. All right. Update point two, Night Ops change log. Day and night cycle. Experience Gray Zone Warfare in an entirely new way. A full in-game day lasts 3 real-world hours with 2 hours of daylight followed by 1 hour of night, offering a seamless transition between dusk, dawn, day, and night. Dawn and dusk are by far my two favorite fucking time of days. As you've seen on stream, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Visibility shifts drastically at night, altering player strategies and requiring precision tools for night combat. That's the only thing I'd like to asterisk there. Right now, it feels like the moon being a full moon, it doesn't really affect the need for NVGs that much, but I'll hold. New gear to help you fight in the darkness sets in. Night vision goggles, tac devices, which are sick, as you know, have those. New weapons here: MP5, Colt M1911, AK74U, AK12, AK15, AK19, and AK308. We're weapon and item durability. We are introducing a mechanic, as we know, to bring new challenge to your gameplay. Your item gradually loses their durability, leading to deteriorating benefits if you don't manage your gear properly. Replace worn parts to remain effective in the action. That's kind of annoying sometimes though, because guns are there's so many parts to them. But I mean, I get the realism of it, so that's not like I don't. The donation box is in the loadout now. The donation box itself is in the camp, so that's neat. We already seen that as well. You can actually go in there and check the donation box. When you're defeated and have less than $1,000 to your name, you get a backup package from Handshake once every 24 hours to help you get back into the fight. I actually didn't know about that. That's actually pretty neat. Store locker cases, store your gear, weapon, and armor. Yeah, see, here it is. Here it is. Who was asking about this earlier? Somebody was 100% asking about this earlier. Um, so there is weapons case in the game now. Weapons armor cases. We haven't gotten to them, but they're in the game. Increase locker size through grain protection. You can now earn more locker space as you progress through the game, while DLC edition grants you a bigger locker from the start. All players can now earn that same expanded storage. That is sick. Pog. Pog, 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 pog. Standard edition can get up to the supporter edition storage eventually. Valuable loot items, as we found. The reinforced laptop. Insert clip now. Communicate with other players quickly and silently. Completely new tasks and storyline reworks, and yeah, this is neat. They've reworked and updated the existing tasks. They've made them more fleshed out and made them a little bit more difficult, which is nice. Task records now have expiration timers. Failed tasks may bear consequences now. Display on the list of finished tasks. Yeah, which is like you lose rep if you do some quests and you turn it into one person. You kind of just have to pick who you want to gain that rep from. Gunny, get weapon storage gonna be from Gunny, and then armor from Banshee. Yeah. Faction patches. These are really hard to see though. Faction chat. My favorite quality for my PvPers, by far, the biggest change, best change is going to be the faction chat, to be able to communicate easier with people on the server and see other PvP. New reporting system, easily flag disruptive behavior to ensure a more safe, positive community experience. Aggressor system, set of mechanics to discourage unfriendly behavior toward fellow faction members. Rendered character preview in the character screen. New status indicators will help you understand what may be causing issues of performance, such as low video memory, increased latency, and other. That's actually nice. Nice little small little benefit up there. Faction chat's gonna make PvP crazy as fuck. Only supporters get the skull mask. I got one to start and then you lose it. So if you lose it, it's gone. So just keep that in mind. Squad waypoints. Plan to wait together with your squad coordinates easily. Squad waypoints are such a W. Canted aiming looks really clean. Players can now use the weapons without a magazine. Sometimes a single bullet can save your life. Players can now loot squad mates in a coma. Players can now loot backpacks on the ground without picking them up. All these are absolute pog changes. Diagonal sprinting is now possible. Wait, what? Was that not in a thing? Was that not possible before? Okay. Active headset deactivation. Press O. Yeah, so that's what I do in the helicopter. Press O when you have a headset and you can't hear anything. Clean up your locker quickly and easily. It's not item sort. Keep this in mind. This item packing thing. It's items. It's just kind of it just bunches everything together. So it's all right. Item filtering is useful though, so you can find that stuff easier. New 3D preview for items in your inventory. Cool change there. You can wipe your character once before triggering a cooldown. Furthermore, your friends and chats Persist between wipes. Oh, that's neat. Updated DLC edition rewards. New notification pop up after purchasing the DLC. No more missing out on your purchased goodies. You can now delete chats, by the way. Pog. Messages are now sorted to the top by the latest. Thank God. Added option to right click the name to add to friends list, report, block, etc. Landing zone icons on the compass now show helicopter timer. All apparel pieces are now displayed, even those not yet unlocked. Menu screen can be closed by the respective shortcuts. Added mini-map zooming and increase the maximum zoom level on the map. Tasks and the task lists are linked to the respective vendor. While in Basecamp, all magazines now have a clear short name. Compatible names are now highlighted after selecting an item. My God, it's going to be so many of these quality of life changes. Holy. Compatible items, weapon part names at the vendor screen now show up when hovering over item for improved legibility. Selling ammo to vendors now uses the full stack by default. Oh my God. This is fucking so good. Do you guys know how fucking annoying it was to sell ammo and then have to click and drag every time? Oh my God, bro. They've literally listened to every little fucking detail we said for them to change, and they did it. They literally have done so many of these. The weight of container is now updated in real time when adding or removing items. You can now speed up the helicopter takeoff by pressing L. Fuck your friends. You can leave them behind. Enemy health panel and the cause of death are now presented in the looting screen. Projectile directions added to health panel. Improved ultra-wide monitor support for my ultra-wide gamers. Latency widget on region selection panel. Other changes and additions. Do you realize this time stopped? I'll fix it after this. No, I didn't realize it actually stopped ticking, but I will fix it. No, we're just all frozen in time. Updated biomes, rice fields, jungle, city. Revision of ammunition, armored, balanced weapon viability, barbed wire. Now allow you to move through them, but it also fucking rips you apart. Squads are no longer limited to just one chopper. Oh, I didn't even know this was a change. This is sick as fuck. You know, like if your squad calls in one chopper, it can't call another one. That's a fucking pog ass, bro. The amount of quality of life changes that they've done with this game are fucking insane. Insanely good. I missed that one too, bro. That's insane. New animation to indicate your characters checking the menu. But yeah, it's like they pull up the phone. Motion blur removed. Yeah, okay. Does anybody actually ever go in a multiplayer game and have motion blur on? That's insane. Profanity filter in the chat when creating characters updated. Bug fixes. Okay. I'm just gonna... holy shit. There's a lot of bug fixes. Am I gonna read each one of these? Or am I just gonna... Can I just scroll through and if we see one crazy? Oh my God. Read it? Okay. All right, guys. Strap in. I think we're halfway. Players will no longer be taken to the edge of the map when returning to base if there's an AFK player on their landing pad. I never had that happen to me. Players no longer get stuck in a healing animation after healing another player. I had that happen to me. Players can no longer pick up backpacks with weapon in the backpack weapon slot. Bullets now penetrate bushes correctly. Pog. Also, no one plays with motion blur. Okay, good. Hits to organs increase the bleeding rate of wounds. Obviously, understandable mechanic. Fix the possible unintended handling of task items and terminal initiative tasks. Players can no longer duplicate task items by placing them on dead bodies. Players can no longer close the game using Alt F4 to circumvent dying in the game. Fuck you, griefers. It's no longer possible to use another player to prevent fall damage. Fix the possible grenade jumping exploit. Belt bags can also be stacked and cannot be stacked indefinitely. Friendly players can no longer... be marked as the killer on the PvE server. Pressing the control plus right mouse button no longer works as quick equip. Huh? Pressing control no longer works as a quick equip action. Why not? That should be it. Why not? Why'd they get rid of that? It is no longer possible to quick a tactical carrier in a chest rig by swapping it from a body. That was a fucking bug anyway. Ammo unloaded from magazines will no longer disappear if player have no free slots in the equipment or locker. Players can now top up ammo and money even with the full lockers. Players can now load magazines and containers on dead bodies. Players can now heal and revive other players with medical items placed in medkits. Players can no longer loot a container while another player is using an item inside of it. Disconnected players no longer leave a standing corpse. Blood no longer regenerates with enemy and hydration at 0. Player bodies no longer sink below a ground in Midnight Sapphire. It is no longer possible to bind multiple actions to the same key and same action type. It is no longer possible to interact with items while the player is aiming. Hit registration with knives was improved. Hit registration in general was improved. Fixed a wall at the YBL where players had troubles passing through. Ground Zero now properly emits radiation. Ooh, it actually will kill you if you go in there. Many places around the map where players could get stuck in collisions were fixed. Oh, maybe they did fix some of the rocks. Oh, I did still have it happen to me. That was a bug? Yeah, the control right click. Is that what you guys are talking about? Sorry, I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Various objects and vegetation collisions throughout the game world are fixed. Various instances of floating vegetation or objects were addressed. Various places where players had issues vaulting were reworked to improve the vaulting experience. Players can now shoot through blinds and camel tents in Fort Nereith headquarters, windows, and Lakeside Villa. Posters on the convenience store windows and various other windows in Midnight Sapphire. Players can no longer walk through the command tent at the base camp. A broken bridge near the LRI base camp was repaired. A window and but you're playing that older build near the issues with getting stuck, though, right? That is true. That is fucking true. I'll have to test it out. A window and band pod can now be opened properly from inside the hut. Gaps remove concrete walls. Fix several light sources. Players can now shoot through smaller trees and bushes without issues. Pog. Floating section of graphic change. Specific doors now reset correctly to the original state. Fix the building that was scaled improperly. Fix graphical artifact. Fix various objects. It is no longer possible to vault through closed wooden doors. Spawn position of loot loose at various places. Prevent them from floating or clipping through other objects. Players can no longer crouch in deep water. Water and mud replace regular dirt underground in rice fields. No more bulletproof grass plates. No. A river near Sawmill is now placed correctly in the terrain. An invisible wall on a hill overlooking Midnight Sapphire was removed. An invisible platform was removed from the area near UNLRA container dorms at Tiger Bay. Various terrain transitions were smoothed to look more natural. The route from India 2 to Golf 3 is now more direct. Holy shit. Okay. Changes. Oh my God, this is a lot. I mean, holy fuck. How are we still going? Foregrips are now attached to the X7 M13 handguard, now properly from the side. Pilot scope no longer obstructed by helmet while aiming will crouch. Players will no longer be able to load new ammo after reloading. AK-545 magazine is now an artisan stock. AK firearms now have the correct weight. Recoil is now correctly applied while in a helicopter. Weapon collision detection with other options improved. Objects, improved. The arm stamina drain modifier and foregrips applies correctly. Finally. Scopes no longer add weapon handling stat to the weapon. Enhanced grenade physics. Grenades also no longer get stuck mid-air and throw after throwing. Pog. Foregrips no longer clip with magazines on the AK platform. Pog. Handguards now show the weapon handling properties when inspected. Adjusted the size of PBSO1 suppressor to correct dimensions. X factor choke now correctly affects the raid and dispersion of accuracy. And dispersion of shotguns. Fixed loudness value of the salvo 12 suppressor. Fixes for tasks. Players can no longer obtain a second briefcase for the native negotiations task if they die with a briefcase in their secure container. A possible task bottleneck when working on the task. Baked noble powder and academic interest at the same time was fixed. The NPC in the task Little Bird Down no longer clips to the wall. The key for the family heirloom task now spawns correctly. Location description for the task Rat's Nest was cleared up. Killing AI with a knife now counts towards kill task. Sound improvement. Consumables now stop playing when action is canceled. Barbed wire now produces sound when players collide. Players can no longer hear the surrounding sounds after dying. Ooh, that's big because before you could give if you were on Discord, you could tell a guy where somebody's at by just the noise. Ambient nature sounds no longer leak in a YBL1 bunker. AI NPC voices are now played correctly in YBL1. Voice chat failing to work under certain circumstances is fixed. Voice chat sound no longer distorts under certain conditions. Icon name when properly displayed for squad mates using a squad. Walking through the mud now properly makes sound. M700 suppressed barrel is now properly suppressed for my sniper fiends. Razer headphones no longer amplify the helicopter sound. Thank God. The tinnitus effect is now correctly applied when affected by a stun grenade. Several missing pilot voice lines were added. Waterfall sounds are no longer present in base camp. Ambient sound levels were adjusted depending on player's location. Sound transitions when entering buildings were polished. Left hand no longer clips with a foregrip on shotguns during weapon manipulations. Several hitches related to changing stances were fixed. Reload animations in the helicopter were polished. Players now stand up correctly before kicking the door from a prone position. And correctly finger position and flying bullet in third-person perspective. 3PV surgery kit animation were fixed. Sorry. Missing. I don't have water, so I can't even hydrate. Missing hit reactions while prone were added. Character pose while waiting with a knife or grenade now looks natural. Players can now no longer sprint before they cock their weapons after shooting. I'm getting cocked right now on my chat being forced to read this. AK animations were polished to make them more natural. Use foregrips. No longer overstretches to the left hand when using AKs. Transitions between animations of Mossberg 590 were polished. Interactions while in dynamic crouch now look more natural. Sprinting animation, where repeatedly tapping the sprint button is now smoother. Transitions between animations for AI NPCs are polished. Players no longer rotate when recovering from a coma. Find a rare issue where a player might recover from a coma and might be missing a weapon. Vaulting has been improved. Several bugs related to vaulting have been fixed. AI fixes. Finally, the stuff you guys have fucking wanted. Oh, fuck. AI behavior was improved. Yeah, almost there. Almost. So much absolute goated dubs in this update. 100%. This update is fucking 10 out of 10. You can't even tell me otherwise. This update is fucking perfect. Okay, anyway. AI NPCs are now less reactive to sounds. They also use a new, more realistic sight system with refined field of view and dynamic distance recognition. AI NPCs react to the new day-night cycle and have to rely on exterior lighting or flashlights. They can now also take cover and crouch during firefights. We've noticed that if you've seen, obviously, when I'm fighting AI, they'll sometimes run behind cover instead of just straight up trying to fight you and kill you. AI NPCs no longer see through bushes. Hallelujah. Players will no longer see AI NPCs sliding when observing them from greater distance. Various incorrect spawn locations for AI NPCs were fixed to prevent collisions after spawn. All AI NPC will not get stuck in doors or clip through walls in Fort Narith anymore. AI NPC will no longer be able to push through a concrete fence near YBL 1. AI terrain detection was improved to prevent unnatural vertical movement. AI pathing was improved to prevent AI from colliding with objects. Also, other AIs when walking around or during fights. AI NPC bodies no longer disappear into the ground or starting towns. AI NPCs no longer clip with various objects and warp between them. A rare issue where AIs were not rendering when scoping a near tiger bait was fixed. This is unbelievable. There's so much fucking stuff in this update. Fixes for the UI. I mean, these patch notes are literally a fucking 10-page essay. Fixes for the UI, squads, messenger, and intermittent issues where a player would be unable to return from the menu by pressing escape or tab was fixed. The inspect window for items from a task reward now closed when leaving the messenger. All weapon sockets now have the correct icons. Icons for critical and locked parts no longer overlap on weapon sockets. The accept task button is now displayed correctly even if accepting tasks in quick succession. Friend requests no longer reappear on each restart if the requesting player wiped their character. The friends list now correctly updates when moving an offline friend. Players no longer need to be added as friends each time they wipe their account. Squad chat history now persists after switching between the menu and the game. The mute icon in the squad menu now persists. The squad invite button now correctly deactivates when 3 players are invited to squad. Players are now correctly notified if they send a squad in. Sorry, if they said it. Players are now correctly notified if they send a squad notification to a player with disabled squad invites. Multiple squad invitations are now handled correctly with the oldest one staying on top. Accept and decline buttons are now consistent in notifications in chat. Placeholder names are no longer appear in chat. Skip coma no longer appears on the screen after responding. Players can now see the landing zone and navigate to it after reconnecting to it properly. Players no longer experience repeated healing animation due to the interaction menu not updating immediately. Vendor messages no longer duplicate and clutter the messenger window. The messenger window's tasks now close when switching between them. Resolution change now only takes effect after pressing apply. Various other minor fixes and improvements throughout the UI. Visual bugs. A visual bug where a player is repeatedly dropping below ground after stepping off the heli was fixed. A weapon is no longer displayed in the hands while using medical or consuming provisions. Switch between the player's grenades no longer causes a weapon to be displayed in the player's hands. Giant weapon parts no longer appear in the game. Sunglasses no longer appear shining when observing through a magnified scope. Car windows now render correctly at all distances. Rendering of starter towns. My fucking watch is like, stand up, relax, dude. Rendering of starter towns when viewed from a longer distance was improved. Various typos and other text discrepancies through the game were fixed. Scope preview now correctly updates while learning. Backpacks no longer obstruct view under certain circumstances. Water bottles now have proper icons and don't look the same anymore. Bandanas no longer clip through headphones. Patrol backpack straps no longer shows in view when running. Delta backpack no longer obstructs the player vision and prone. NPC limbs no longer clip through chest rigs. Cry Precision Ranger green shirt now reacts to wind properly. Shadow flickering on weapons and environments has reduced significantly. Hollow sights reticles no longer flicker when used with frame gen. A rare issue when a player would hold a weapon while holding a grenade in 3PV was third person perspective, I guess. Various minor issues were fixed, including incorrect collisions, floating or sinking assets, or vegetation growing. Technical updates and fixes. This is the last patch. Unreal Engine updated to version 5.4. This is probably good for performance. And that might be why performance is a little bit better. NVIDIA DLSS is available with any upscaling methods for NVIDIA 40 series, FSR, DLSS, and XeSS, updated to latest versions. Important, FSR frame gen is temporarily disabled from NVIDIA cards while we work on optimized implementation. But you don't have to worry about that because DLSS frame gen is on. NVIDIA Realize low latency is now turned on properly when switching to DLSS. Graphical artifacts on the apparel screen or while scoping were fixed. The screen no longer gets stuck after quitting the game or or ending the expedition outside of base camp, hitching when shooting from helicopter was fixed. Scope flickering when using the FSR frame gen reduced. Remove flickering of the environment when using the FSR frame was reduced in various situations. And finally, the performance when ADSing with FSR frame was improved. Holy shit, that was a lot of cool changes. That is a 100 out of 100 update for me. Oh my goodness, though. You cannot believe you guys made me read all of that. I got caked for inactivity. That's how long that was.